You know what? The root days are over.
Hello, and welcome back to H. I'm your host Hannah, and today I've decided to put my camera on. Today we're going to be talking about the TikTok effect, not just how it affects us as viewers, but also how it affects creators as well. It's a very interesting topic that I wanted to delve into today, so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy. Firstly, I wanted to talk about the effect of viewers when we were viewing a TikTok. So our attention span seems to be getting a lot worse as time goes on, especially with TikTok. So with the short form content, we want to have content that is as short as possible. It's really interesting because usually we like to go and watch a film or we watch a YouTube video and we like that long form content. We can see all the little bits and pieces that go into it when we go and watch a film. Whereas on TikTok, we don't really get that. The most important thing when making a TikTok is the first second. So you really have to grab your viewers' attention straight away. I don't think this is just because we have been told this is how things go and that TikTok has really been an app where where you have a short form video. That's what engrosses people, that's what entices people into it. I think it's also because of the aspect ratio. I think it's really interesting to note that TikTok is a vertical app and the stuff you see on TikTok is all in that portrait. So rather than, when you're watching a film, your peripheral is sort of the rest of the screen, but on TikTok your peripheral is the background. And what if there's something more interesting in the background than there is on your screen? It needs to be really attention grabbing so that you can grab your audience's attention rather than them looking at the other surroundings that they have around them, which is, I don't know, you can kind of think that your surroundings is quite important. You kind of need to pay attention of what's going on. But that is kind of the design of phones in that, you have this one thing that's right in front of your face and you're seeing that vertical content, whereas your peripheral is the rest of the world. And so TikTok has been curated in a way that means that you have to look right in the middle of your phone. When you're watching a long form content video like on YouTube or you're going to the cinema, you read an image from left to right, up and down. You can kind of read the whole image like you would a book. Whereas on TikTok, you can't really do the left to right thing. It is more just up and down. Therefore, the best way to make a TikTok video is so that you are covering the whole of your space. You have quite a small space compared to a long form content where you have like 16:9 ratio, where you have a big screen. You've got to try and, it's not so much about trying to cover the whole screen. You want to have something that is there and is the focus, but you can also have things in the background. For example, I've got my background here. I didn't realize I had this on. When you're watching a YouTube video, you have there's a whole peripheral of the background. And on a TikTok, you don't really have that. You are more concentrated on what is there in the foreground, which is why you find a lot of TikToks where you have the thirds. And if you are in that kind of top third, you are in, the best area to be seen since you're looking from top to bottom. If you open the app, I'm gonna do it now because I'm gonna have a look. So this guy they're mostly in the upper third half of the video. At the bottom of the video, you also have this text. So that's you don't want to have anything there because no one's gonna see that because there's text in the way. Do we have on the side here on the right, since you're reading from left to right, you have all these icons here. And also, obviously, at the top of the page, we have these icons that are they're white and they're kind of transparent in a way so that you can't see them in the background. This is an interesting video. So it's best to have your subject right in the middle, right in focus, and usually as the top half of the video. Therefore, we are grabbing the audience's attention straight away by saying, look, you are looking from top to bottom. I am at the top. You must be looking at me. So that is kind of the difference between sort of TikTok and YouTube. I always find a lot of people like to watch the shortest video possible. If I can find on TikTok, I wouldn't watch anything longer than say a minute. I'm not very good with that because there's more interesting things. I can always think on the next video, the first second is gonna grab me. So I'm always swiping. I'm always thinking, oh, the next video, it'll be something interesting. The next video, it'll be something more interesting. The rest of this video is probably just gonna be the same amount of stuff. TikTok is kind of changing in a way though. So content creators are getting money from videos that are over a minute long, and that's actually really difficult to do, to keep your audience attention in a vertical format video for over a minute. I know that when I have some moments that I want to, capture, and usually I will film for over a minute because the moment lasts for over a minute. Often it'll be a video of my cat. But then when I look back on that video, I'll only watch like the first 30 seconds because I'm like, oh, I can remember the rest of this video. I don't need to watch anymore. Similarly on TikTok, when you're watching the video, if you watch the first 30 seconds and you get the idea of what the video is about, then you're kind of like, oh, I don't need to watch the rest of the video. And then on YouTube, people tend to love to watch really long form videos. I do as well. Nexpo and Wendy Goon, I love to watch these videos. I saw a comment once on a TikTok that was saying that I could only watch a TikTok video up to 5 seconds, but a YouTube video, I will happily watch a 3-hour YouTube video. And I'm absolutely the same. YouTube videos tend to do really well when you have like a really long format video, especially if it's about a topic that people are really interested in. If it's about like a crime, mukbangs seem to do well. I don't watch mukbangs, but people like them and they're usually really long. They usually tell a story, or podcasts as well. That's the thing that's like really interesting. And on TikTok, you'll see the clips of those podcasts that won't be very long. And then you will go onto YouTube to watch the whole thing because it's in that kind of like landscape ratio, and you kind of associate YouTube with longer form videos. And TikTok is definitely for short form videos. In my opinion, I'm not sure that has really affected our attention spans in, let's say, the classroom, in the workplace. I think different things are used for different things. Like different social medias for different things, if you see what I mean. Like TikTok is for like just random ideas you have that you don't need to make a video on. You just kind of go, oh, hey, I don't know, Trump is bad, It's usually like a political thing. And then on TikTok, you have those like short form videos that you can just capture just like that in your portrait phone, and people are going to flick through. And YouTube is for those longer form videos. And then I would say probably Instagram is for, those moments where you're like, I have to get a picture. And then I suppose Reels is on Instagram a little bit, but I don't know. I think I would prefer to use TikTok instead of Reels. In that kind of sense, the workplace is like a completely different setting. And I think you need to have like a different attention span depending on where you're putting your attention. At the workplace, my attention span is, suited for the workplace, I think, I guess, I hope. You focus on that job that you are working on, compared to like a TikTok video where you're like, I don't need to, this isn't the most important thing in my life. I don't need to look at this more than like 3 seconds if it's not that interesting. It might get interesting later on, but you're not going to watch the whole thing because who cares? So I think that is the difference between like TikTok and YouTube. But I think where the TikTok effect really takes into effect is on the creators. They are, when you think of a TikTok creator, who do you think of is the question. And if you're not chronically online, I could never really mention who I watch on TikTok. Like, I don't think I am chronically online in that I know all these TikTok creators. I mean, I do, in the fact that on TikTok, I never see these people. My TikTok is just a plethora of lots of different things. The RSPB have been on my TikTok a lot lately, with their Bird of the Week. They're great. They're doing really well. In terms of TikTok creators, who I'm talking about are the people who are chronically online. The people who are on live. And if you are watching TikTok live, I don't know what to say to you. Why are you watching that shit? So these content creators, such as, you may not have heard of these because I didn't know these people until I watched like other YouTubers talk about these people, and now I hear about them all the time. I never see them on TikTok, never, because I'm not on that side of TikTok. And the algorithm gives you what you want to watch. So I don't want to watch Alphaba. I don't want to watch, was it Chelsea Lee Art or Bevo or Paul Breach, God forbid. But the thing with these content creators is how the fame has really got to them immediately. And I think with these content creators, there is something that kind of unites them all in that they are very selfish. All they think about is themselves and getting that money from TikTok. There's that video of Bevo. And if you don't know Bevo, He is the guy. These are like British TikTokers, by the way. I don't know any American TikTokers. I don't think they're that. They're probably not this weird. Bevo is the content creator who just doesn't chew his food. He just swallows. I'll insert a video of him doing that. And then he has a video where he is telling this person how much he earns online. And it's like, well, why have you posted that? You're just kind of like telling everyone like, oh my god, I'm so rich, you know, you're not, you're poor. People are outraged by this video. They're like, well, good for you, I guess. And then there are people like Alphabet and Chelsea Lee who also like, you know, they earn all this money and they are not good people. I don't know why people watch these people. I'm not gonna sit there on an Alphabet live and she's live all the time apparently. And I'm not going to sit there, I'm not going to watch this because that is not what I want to watch. They just beg for gifts. And on TikTok, there are this thing where you have like, you can have a lion, you could have a rose, any, you know, just an emoji. These emojis give you money, apparently. You have to buy these emojis and then you give them to your favorite content creators. Well, I don't know whether your favorite content creators, because if your favorite content creator is Alphabet, yeah, I don't know. You need to like get offline, really. Alphabet and CLA are often placed in this TikTok bullshit. So these creators such as Alphabet and CLA and Paul Breach, you know, they go on live all the time. I don't think Paul typically does anymore. I think he was more 2023. We leave that back in 2023. These people are always on live. They are always begging for money and they get it. I don't know how. Like, I don't know how you can be a person and you can, like, watch these people, but they are just awful people. I don't really know how else to describe it. I could just show you a couple of clips, I guess.
You know what? The root days are over. I do not trust no more. Roots, darling.
I live in your head rent-free. Being an influencer is a job. You decide 5 minutes to become an influencer, calm down. Okay, why don't you get 400,000 followers and 2,000 people on your live stream? We have to work. No, you don't. You actually don't have to work. You can get universal credit on benefits. That's how it works, my love. You don't have to work at all.
Alphabet will just fart on stream and, you know, I don't want to watch that. I don't know who watches that. I'd rather watch something more informative or funny, at least, you know? I think maybe they have that for them, but I don't know who finds that funny unless you're like 5 years old, which is probably their audience anyway. It's an interesting landscape for people on TikTok, and then they themselves, they get that fame, and then they become kind of pretend to be this famous person, and really they're not famous, they're more infamous. People hate them, people hate watch them, and I think it's kind of not a great thing to do. If you don't like someone, don't watch them, because then you're not giving them money, you're not giving them that attention. All they want is your attention. CLA and Paul Breach, like, how old are they? Like 40? Get a life, get a job, and, you know, get off TikTok. And it's like, it's a really toxic platform for these people. And then we can move on to the other content creators who rage bait or, you know, overshare and be a bit over dramatic, because these people, you know, they're trying to get that, like, those views. They're trying to be so over the top that, you know, people are going to come and watch them, which, you know, is fair enough. But like, you don't have to share you don't have to tell us your life story. Sometimes things you can take to the grave, and I think TikTok is a place where, you know, it's that safe space for where you can just post anything. And if it's outrageous, if it's stupid, if it's just, oh my god, what the hell, then people are gonna watch it. And people love those, like, Reddit stories. I'm sorry, I'm also one of these people who will watch these Reddit stories, and they're just not real. Someone playing, like, Subway Surfers, and someone's, like, talking about, like, how they cheated on their wife, and, like, am I the asshole for cheating on my wife? I'm like, yes, you are. TikTok is a place for oversharing, and it's not somewhere where I've seen anywhere else other than maybe, like, Twitter. Instagram, you know, is much less of this oversharing nonsense. But TikTok really is a place for people to overshare and then rage bait, and, you know, people fall for it. People will be like, oh my god, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why did you do this? And, you know, it's not real. Not everything you see on the internet is real. Which kind of brings me on to my last point about internet dangers, which is what the TikTok effect I think has really gone into recently. It's quite scary what there really is out there. Recently, I have been getting a lot of videos on Ren and her mother, and this woman, I don't really agree with anyone who puts their kids on the internet. There are weirdos out there. There are lots of weirdos out there. In fact, I'm gonna go on Ren's TikTok now, and we're gonna see how many views she gets. People have been talking about this child, this poor child. I'm not gonna show her face. She doesn't need to be on the internet. So this person gets like, you know, 8.3 million views, 5.5 million, millions of views, 27.4 million views, and it's this little girl drinking syrups prime. This little girl just drinking through a straw, and the mother knows what they're doing, and there's 5,000 saves on that, and it's sickening. If you're putting your child on the internet, you are putting them out there for these sick people to watch. Children shouldn't be online because there are so many predators out there, and if you are out there making them do these kind of like, you know, adult things, then you're asking for trouble. You're asking for that trouble. But there's also the thing of there are children online anyway. Children will get around the age thing on, you know, on TikTok it's 13, on Snapchat I think it's also 13. And I remember when I was 13, I think I waited until I was 13 to get Snapchat because I was a good little girl. Snapchat is different to Instagram in that you can decide who follows you and who you follow. TikTok is very different. On TikTok, if you are posting something as a child, anyone can see that content if you put it on a public profile. And most people do. It's very easy to make your channel public on TikTok as compared to Snapchat, for example. You know, I don't know how to put my Snapchat on public, and I'm not going to do that. You know, I don't really like Snapchat. I need to get rid of it. You have to be, or you're supposed to be 13 to be on TikTok. There are going to be so many people, so many young children who will just go against that guideline and will start posting, you know, dances on TikTok, which is what I think most children do. I don't know. Adults can go and watch that content. If you're a parent, you need to be making sure that your kids are not posting, you know, things really on TikTok. It is my opinion. In my opinion, you know, obviously people parent different. I don't have a kid. I think you are doing a disservice to your child if you are letting them be on this app. If you are a parent, you don't want this child to be contacted by, you know, old men, usually, and women. And content on TikTok isn't always as regulated as you would like it to be. It is a place where people will post anything and everything, and your children will be exposed to anything and everything. If you're on social media, it needs to be regulated by your parents. There's only really the parents who can regulate this stuff. As I've already previously mentioned, you know, people like Elphaba will just fart on stream, and it's not necessarily sexual. It's not necessarily but it's gross. It's gross. Okay? I don't want my kids to be looking at that. I don't want anyone to be looking at that. There's a lot of things on that app. There are like, why is this being posted? This isn't the website that I'm not supposed to mention. Why is that being posted here on this children's app? I think now as Gen Z has grown up, we've kind of decided that this app is now for, you know, everyone. But it definitely should be noted that there are a lot of children on that app. And I think the children on that app are on different sides of TikTok. My younger siblings aren't on TikTok, but I have friends. I used to be part of a drama group, so I have friends who are like a bit younger than me. When I was younger with them, they used to go on TikTok and they used to like do little dance videos. I never see the dances on my TikTok For You page anymore. I'm 20, so I shouldn't really. It brings you content that you want to see, but it's not so regulated as it really should be. And I think that's less of a TikTok problem and more of a parent problem. If you don't want your kids to be looking at this stuff, you shouldn't be letting them watch it, which is why YouTube Kids is a thing, although YouTube Kids have had many problems in the past. And I think things like Skibbity Toilet is not what I would want to show my kids. But then we get into the whole issue with like iPad kids, and then they're chronically online. And TikTok is only just reinforcing that. It's just allowing people to have that kind of short attention span, keep watching our TikToks, don't do anything else. It is definitely a place where people spend way too much time, which is why I'm advocating for not spending as much time on TikTok. Having said all that, I'm not going to stop using TikTok. We need to continue to call out creators who are endangering themselves and other people and profiting off vulnerable people, especially children. Stop giving them money. Stop giving them the attention and start saying, you need to stop this. And in doing so, we can encourage good and real content on the app, which can really benefit everyone. I see lots of things about telling us about things that are happening in the world. I get all my news from the app. I see people teaching us about things. This kind of stuff is like really useful to us. I think it's really important to continue to interact with those good parts of the app and to condemn those bad parts of the app. And then therefore we can create the app ourselves as viewers to a place where we want to watch things. We need to continue to remember that we can go outside. We can go and see different things. We don't have to be chronically online. And with that, thank you for watching my video today. I know it's been a long one and it's been a bit of a ranty one. I hope you enjoyed like seeing me in person. I might continue to do this. I'm really hoping to get a video out next week as well. I'm going to try and keep with the regular content. It might be every Saturday. I was going to do every Friday, but I think I'm going to do every Saturday now. But please comment down below if you have anything you want to add to what I said today, or if you want me to talk about something particular in another video. This channel is kind of just me ranting and then some projects that I want to do at uni. So stay tuned for my projects if you like that kind of stuff, or if you like these kind of ranty videos, just let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @_.h_. I know I have some really weird @s. Follow me on TikTok as well. All the links will be in this description. But I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. That's my way of not going on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.